This episode of SESSLER'S Something is brought to you by Full Sail University. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving time holiday that was mixed with Hanukkah and caused me a great deal of problems because I'm in San Francisco now and running out and getting latkes is not as easy as it was for me down in Los Angeles. Other than that, I love this city, but we need to deal with the latke and the pastrami issue that seems to be very, very concerning. But outside of that, it was a nice period of time to just play some games. And, you know, it was Black Friday and stuff. And so I actually realized I wanted to play the Zelda game. I don't have a 3DS XL, and I really, after having handled the larger one, really wanted to get one because it seems to be easier on my eyes, easier on my hands, and it's a Zelda game, so it's going to take a while to play. So I did something I've never really done before, and that is I went shopping on Black Friday. I actually went to the GameStop down here on Market Street. I tried to excuse it in my head and to my wife is that it wasn't just for consumer satisfaction, but anthropological, because I wanted to see what would be happening and what games would be purchased inside of the GameStop on Black Friday. It was definitely busy. The entire downtown area was actually filled with throngs of human beings, most of whom seemed to be from Europe, and that actually struck me as curious, and that's for probably someone else's podcast some other time. Anyway, I was in there, and while I waited in line, I eavesdropped and I tried to talk to people. And there was something that really came across. Most everyone who was in line was buying a couple of used games and a copy of Battlefield 4 or a copy of Call of Duty Ghosts, you know, maybe something else here and there. And all of it was for current gen systems. And what was really instructive about that is, as much as we've been talking about next-gen systems, as much as you guys have been talking about next-gen systems, we make up a very small segment of what is the consumption of video games. And that's why it makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. It's not those core enthusiasts, not that we're not important, but really this industry survives on people who have lesser knowledge, and I would have to say so. I had to listen into a handful of conversations and couldn't help but interject many times when I realized that people had incorrect information. But that's just how it seems to go, and I think it was a very important and eye-opening moment that, you know, it is a broad tent, whether you like it or not. And I know a lot of people like to complain about people who play Call of Duty and people who play Battlefield 4, that somehow the interest in those games and the way it seems to be driving the decisions that are being made by the major publishers is, you know, running contrary to the needs and desires of that core gaming audience. And to some extent, that is true. But there probably wouldn't be any games at all if there wasn't a large swath of people who just buy 1 to 2 games a year and go for the ones that their friends play and go for the ones that get the really strong marketing budgets behind them. It is kind of a contradiction but it's an essential contradiction, and it's something that I think I'm going to have to do this more and more to remind ourselves that we like to fashion ourselves a form of elite, but we're an elite that really needs, well, a large swath of interest to have any type of satisfaction. All right, let's take a moment and thank our sponsor, Full Sail University. Whether you're interested in programming, art and animation, story creation, or even producing games, there's a game degree program at Full Sail University to fit your needs. Full Sail's campus is equipped with professional level game studios and labs where you can work with teams of your own peers to create a playable game from start to finish. And if you're looking for an online program, Full Sail's Game Art and Game Design bachelor's degree programs utilize Full Sail's immersive education platform, giving you the ability to earn your degree from anywhere in the world. Full Sail grads have worked on titles such as Red Dead Redemption, the Call of Duty series, and more. What are you waiting for? Visit fullsail.edu/something to learn more. Yes, I know I mentioned I went out to get my 3DS XL and I did the setup and I played a little bit of Zelda, but not enough that I have much to opine on other than, wow, if any more Zelda games would like to get me into a dungeon within the first 10 minutes, I'm all yours. I have been playing also the game I mentioned last week, Assassin's Creed 4. It is sort of scratching that funny itch. That, you know, big open world, I'm gonna collect things, I'm gonna set some goals for myself and blow up some forts and build up a boat. And, you know, it's just that kind of thing that I see all the imperfections in the game, but I can't find anything else that's really giving me that very, that satisfaction that I need. But there's one thing, and I see this so many times in the Assassin's Creed games and maybe a handful of other open world games out there, that once you're presented with the world, and it happens very quickly, I tend to want to kind of clean up my map. Oh, if I can do that thing over there, then I'll do that. And you keep yourself out of the main narrative. But the games aren't constructed to allow for that and maintain a consistency of the narrative. This is in particular interest when it comes to Assassin's Creed 4, because Kenway, the guy that you play, well, he's not really an assassin. He's a pirate, and through the course of the story, he kind of assassinifies himself. But you can start doing all these side missions which treat him as an assassin, and this discordance, it doesn't make the game unplayable, but it's a very, very sort of odd philosophy that you would give so much to the player when you could be withholding it and kind of get that business done, and then boom, you're out there in the world, you have that kind of sense of purpose that the narrative has given you, and additionally, you're not learning about things that may become relevant and spoil things that are happening 2-3 hours into the main story. It is, I think, an essential challenge. Open world games are about giving you freedom of choice, but when you do that, you really then have to put together some type of story that is cognizant that you can't control how the player is going to play it. I think some of the best examples are what you get out of Todd Howard and Bethesda, be it Fallout 3 or something like Skyrim. The thing is, those main stories don't have that essential quality. They don't have that ridiculous sense of urgency about them, so that it doesn't feel weird when, you know, hey, I'm just going to go off and do something for the next 40 hours. Oh yeah, that's right, there's an important thing I had to get to. It does decrease the role of the story in the games, but as a result, it doesn't make you feel like someone wasn't thinking about you when they were designing it.